Now we will start the explanation part of the poem, How Beautiful is the Rain. As you know, the poem is all about what happens when rain comes to a dry place. The poet shows the impact of the falling rain on different people and in different places. The poet celebrates rains, a force of nature. It looks at rain as a source of joy for people looking at it, of fun. For example, children sail their boats and they broadens out to look at what rain does for humanity, watering the crops and keeping life going. The poet wants to say the rain is wholly positive. Rain gives warmth, it gives energy, and it is full of life. How beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat. As we know, summers are very hot at our place, and during summer, we experience scorching heat. The days are full of sandstorms or heat and full of dust. So, when the rain comes, it is relieving, it gives pleasure to everybody. As we feel dusty, we feel hot during summers, and this beautiful rain, when it comes, it brings relieving effect, it brings cool effect, and it gives pleasure all over the places and for all, all of the persons. So it's saying how beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat. The dusty and the hot days of the summer, after those dusty and hot days of summer, now this rain looks very beautiful. In the broad and fiery street. What is fiery? Very hot. In the broad and fiery street, in the narrow lane, how beautiful is the rain. We know that in summers our roads also become very hot. They are burning like fire, the lanes, the streets, they become very hot. We always avoid to go out in the afternoons because it's very hot, it's very burning outside. But when the rain pours and we see the light shining in the sky, it looks beautiful. Why? Because we want to enjoy the rains. It's very relaxing. It has cool effects. We feel very good. So the poet is saying how beautiful is the rain. So after experiencing hot and dusty days where roads are also hot, lanes are also hot, this rain is giving a cooling effect everywhere. How it clatters along the roofs like the tramp of hooves. Clattering is to make a sound, make a movement with some sound, like gur gur gur. This voice is called the rattling. We have experienced when the water falls on the tin roofs, then it produces some sound. That is the clattering sound. So this is talking about the clattering sound of the rain. That when how it clatters along the roof. When the rain falls on the roofs, it produces some noise, and that is the clattering noise. When it falls on the roof, and that sound is like the tramp of hooves. Tramp of hooves means when a horse moves, it produces some sound, dhap, dhap. So the rainwater is also producing that sort of sound, and that sound is like the tramp of hooves of a horse. Clear? When the rain falls on the roofs, then it produces some sounds, and that's a rattling sound, and it is like a horse is moving and it is producing sound with his hooves. Clear? How it gushes and struggles out from the throat of the overflowing spout. Spout, have you seen the kettle and the pipe like structure on the kettle? A thin pipe like structure from where you pour the tea out. Or have you seen a jug and spouts are there so that easy flow of the liquid should be there? It's talking about that thing only, how it gushes and struggles out. Now the rainwater flows all over the houses and other buildings in the cities, and then it is moving with a gush. It is coming out with a pressure. Now, when the rain is falling, the water comes on the streets. Now it is coming out with a pressure, and it is going. When some liquid flows through a narrow tube, it goes very fast with the pressure and it produces some sound. So now the water is also gushing. It's coming out with pressure from the narrow streets, and it is making some sound. So it will create some sound and it will come with the pressure through the lanes from where it's going. Clear? Across the window pane, it pours and it pours. Now the poet is seeing it from the inside of his house through the window, and he sees it that across the window pane the rain is just pouring and pouring. It's heavy rains, it's just pouring, the water is coming and it's pouring and pouring, and swift and wide with a muddy tide. Now, what is swift? Swift is fast. So, and swift and wide. So the droplets are very big and it's very fast. It's raining very fast. The water is coming down very fast. So it has a very swift movement. And with a muddy tide. Now, what happens when the water is flowing? Like it's rained. Now, the water is going through the streets, going through the lanes, and the dust particles which are there on the roads. Now, the water is carrying those dust particles also. So, now it's moving with that mud. So, it has become muddy and it's carrying all those dust particles, soils, little pebbles along it, and it has become muddy, full of mud. Like a river down the gutter rose, the rain, the welcome rain. We know that river flows and then they move to the big water bodies, and like those rivers, this rainwater is flowing and it is flowing into the gutter. It is collecting in the gutter. The rain, the welcome rain. But the rain, you are always welcome, as you are very rejuvenating. You give us coolness from this hot temperature. It is always welcome as it comes in the hot summer and settles the dust in the air and cools the heat. So, the rain, you are always welcome. Clear?